So you've been thinking about moving to North Idaho, but you've maybe pumped the brakes a little bit on that, just a little worried about what's happening in the whole economy, really. Is there a recession coming? Are we in one right now? What are the rates doing? How it's affecting your affordability? We're going to round table today. We haven't done a market update in quite a while, and things have definitely changed around the country and especially here in North Idaho. So we're going to give you the update on what's going on next. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Conor Hammons with the Living CDA Realty Group with EXP. We've got
Lexi with a Rex.
John DeLuca here from ICCU, local lender, and we're going to get into what's going on with the rates later.
Ben Greenslit.
Cody Buyer Rate.
And we do videos all year round about what it's like to work, live, play here in beautiful North Idaho. So if you're interested in that type of content, if you want to see these type of videos and keep educated, make sure you click the subscribe button here and tap that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. We help people buy and sell houses here in Coeur d'Alene. We're a team of 12 full-time agents, and we can't help you find the right spot to live unless you reach out. So besides subscribing and clicking that bell, you really got to call, text, or email us to get a hold of us. If you're really starting that process of relocating to North Idaho, we can find the right spot to live. So let's get right into it, guys. I think the last market roundtable video we did, things were slowing a little bit. Rates were coming up a little bit, and we were still pretty positive. But things have changed kind of on a dime up here. And leverage has kind of flipped. And just for context, whenever you're watching this video, we're at the very end of June in 2022. So rates have gone up at a rate that we've never seen before. And so boots on the ground, what are you guys seeing out there that's changed significantly in the last month and a half?
So buyers, working with buyers right now, there's not a lot of competition when you're looking at houses, and that's kind of across all price points. At least what I'm seeing is that, even in the lower price points, there's still houses that aren't getting multiple offers anymore. We're seeing just one offer, and we're seeing houses sit for a couple of weeks, even in the 400s. So just opportunity for buyers, a little more leverage as far as, asking for things at closing, trying to maybe get some appliances, things like that. You just have a little bit more leverage as a buyer right now, which is good. We've needed that. We've had, we typically have been working with buyers the last couple of years, and now we're starting to work more with sellers again. So also we might have, off-market properties for people because we have more inventory, more things available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. I think really in the history of our channel, because we started recording videos beginning of 2020, it was every time we had a market update, it was like, we don't have any inventory. There's no inventory. There's nothing to sell. And same with you guys who are looking to move here. You're probably refreshing your search list every hour or every day, and there's nothing new. And I remember, I think when it was really bad, I was searching the whole MLS, there was like 450 listings. Mm-hmm. And the other day I clicked just a full search, and then we're up to 1,500.
Wow.
So we're over triple the amount of inventory that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
So when you combine that with the rates going from 3 to it hit 6, it just kind of put a pump to the brakes on everyone out there. But it's really good because,
it's level the playing field.
For buyers, for your segment of people watching these videos, the leverage has been placed back in the buyer's hands.
Yeah. For 2 years, we've gotten hundreds of phone calls from people out of state trying to get here. And it's almost been impossible for a lot of them because, there's 25 offers per home. And so now with interest rates kind of going up, it's sort of scared people into pursuing. But now is like a great opportunity for you because of the lack of competition. Finally, right. It's normalized. It's leveling the playing field. So don't get discouraged, I guess.
Yeah, and that's a key thing. Is like it could be a good time to jump in the market. I don't really know how it's going to play out, but I feel like we're in this weird pocket of a standoff. We have a lot of sellers and and a lot of buyers aren't making any offers or action. And so, like just a story, I just had a client where we got a house under contract for $100,000 under listing price, and we got the appraisal back from John, and it came in $100,000 over our contract price. So they have $100,000 instant equity when they close this house, which I mean that's laughable if I would have said that a month ago.
Yeah. Well, I think I like what's happening in the market. There's a lot of positive things, especially for buyers, because people are wondering, is it did we miss the top of the market? Is it a bad time to buy? Yes, a lot of their buying power has been reduced because of the higher interest rates, but like you said, Ben, it's leveling the playing field. We're not seeing these outrageous appreciations, and people are worrying, about the recession that we finished in 2008, 2009, 2010. Is that going to happen again? Am I going to buy a house for $500,000 and then a year later is it going to be worth $400,000? That's not going to happen. We're in a completely different lending environment. Back in 2008, 2009, 2010, subprime was the culprit, and I cannot overstate that. Subprime was the catalyst that caused that real estate-based recession. For the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, the only people that have been getting home loans are people that are going to be making their payments. The default rates are less than 1%. And that was true prior to subprime, and then the default rate went up near double digits, which absolutely destroyed our economy, completely destroyed our economy. That's not the case this time. We're not going to see a bunch of defaults. What's going to happen is things are going to level off. Things are going to go back to a normal market. A normal market is 3 to 5% appreciation per year. We've been experiencing 25, 35% appreciation.
Yeah.
It's insane and it's unsustainable. Mm-hmm. But what goes up must come down. And so it's a great time to buy a house because, again, it's going to level off, and people are always going to want to come to North Idaho for our politics, our weather, our everything. So it's still a great time to buy. It's a better time to buy.
Making me want to buy right now.
Well, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Lexi.
Oh, I was just going to say, I finally feel like when we are working with buyers that they have the opportunity to do all the things that they have not been able to do the past 2 years.
Get an
if
inspection.
You have a house to sell, if you have a house to sell somewhere else, that contingent offer is still a viable offer now. Whereas, the past 2 years, you were like out of the, not even in the running because they had 10 other offers to consider. Now, if you make a strong offer and you have a home to sell, that that seller is going to work with you.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You can get a home inspection. You don't have to do it in 3 days or agree to not, to pay above the asking price or the contract price.
Yep.
So really, even though the rates have gone up, I think that the positives have gone up just as much.
Yeah. How many times are we preaching to all of the people that we talk to that you might not even try to come up here until you've already sold your house, you have no contingencies, there's no point in putting an offer in. And to Lexi's point, that's not the case anymore, thankfully.
Right. Yeah. Much more balanced and really a great time for all of those people that were waiting because they had to sell a house. Just go ahead and list that house and you'll be able to find, you have much more inventory to choose from up here than you did the last 2 years.
There's even some new construction inventory that has been showing up, and
with credits.
With credits, which is crazy. I mean, we just had not seen that for the last couple of years. I mean, it was a 100-person list to get on a list to build a new construction home, and now we're seeing them having specs, ready to go with no one to fill those spots. So those opportunities are there.
Ben and I were laughing because we used to work for Architera Homes as new construction agents, and we both got emails like a month ago from them, like a blast email saying, "Hey, $5,000 new construction lender credit."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, things are changing."
That was our first sign, actually. I mean, that was really. I mean, right after that, we're like, "Wow, it's a boom."
30-40% of the loans that I'm doing right now have sellers that are paying. They're helping with closing costs, which
Wow.
never happened. That hasn't happened for 2 years.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing that verbiage in the contracts where a buyer agrees to pay up to $50,000 over the appraised value exactly, or they put those caps in there. You're not seeing that anymore. So again, positive time to be a buyer.
Do you have any projections of interest rates?
Well, they're going to keep going up because the feds have come out and they've said that they're going to be meeting, I think, 7 times this year. And they've been very forward in saying, we are going to raise the federal lending rate every time we meet. How much depends on how the economy reacts to the prior hikes that we made to the federal lending rate. What they're trying to do, as you know, because as a consumer, you get bombarded with this every time you open your email or looking at MSN, they're trying to curb inflation. They try to keep inflation at around 2%. Right now it's at 8.6. So they keep on, they're like, okay, heck, we'll bring up the federal interest rate, which trickles up or down to mortgage rates. And so they're raising rates to start to bring the house prices down and to control spending and to try to get inflation back to that 2% number. So what they're doing is they're hitting it. Remember, they did like a 1/4 point, and this last time they did 3/4 of a point. So like Conor was saying, it's an unprecedented rate hike, and we're in an unprecedented rising rate environment.
Yeah.
So are rates going to go up? Yeah, they're going to go up. Are they? How high are they going to go up? If I were going to make an educated guess, I would say the tip over point is probably 7%. By the end of this year, we'll be at 7%.
Yeah.
That's an educated guess, and I've been.
So buy now.
You think
Yeah,
7% for mortgages?
Correct.
Okay.
We're on a 30-year fix. And that's why ARM products are becoming more and more available and more attractive. So as a buyer, definitely talk to your lending professional about an adjustable rate mortgage. I know that those have been a little taboo, especially because the fixed rates have been so low, but those are becoming a viable tool again.
What about as far as, if somebody has a decent amount down, doing some buy downs, is that an option as well?
It is, but in this rising rate environment, what has also gone up is the how much it costs to buy a rate down. So what Cody's talking about there is if you get an interest rate, let's say, hey, like today it's 5.625, but you can pay 0.5% of your loan amount, you can buy that rate down to maybe 5.5 or 5.375. The buy downs have gone up because Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they're creating these notes. So when you close your loan, it's a commodity, it's a note, it's a 30-year fixed at 5.625. They don't want to necessarily get into their return on their note. So they've made the buy downs a little less attractive, but that's right now. Right now is a weird time. Everyone's holding their breath because remember when COVID first happened, everyone held their breath, and all of us professionals and you buyers were like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. So for 30 days, nothing happened. We all thought, do we still have jobs? Or, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, holy cow, do we have jobs?
Yeah.
And then the cover blew off of it. But there was a 30-second, there was a 30-day lag.
Yeah.
When that happened, COVID, shutdown, oh gosh, where are rates going to do? And then they dropped to 2.5. So I think that's what's going on right now, specifically with sellers. I think they're wondering, is this the top of the market? Did we miss the boat?
Right.
Then they're launching. Everyone's launching their house on the market right now because it's all the people that were trying to time it perfectly. You can't
want to miss our opportunity.
You can't time a real estate market perfectly.
Nope.
I mean, on purpose. And so, I think a lot of people are just like, hurry up, list it. Which has just blown up our inventory. At the same time, buyers are like, whoa, pause, rates are going up. What are we, what's this, is a recession here?
Which I think is making more people list,
Which
right?
makes
Because
more
they're
people
like,
list.
wait a second.
Yeah.
Cash out.
Yeah, I gotta hurry and get this.
It's a
which
funny,
is
it's a funny game right now.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a lender, so I'm going to try to stay in my own lane. So I'll defer to you professionals here. But inventory-wise, from a historical perspective, you said Congress about 1,500 residential homes for sale.
Right now, yeah.
In 2018, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't there about 4,000 this time of year? 3,000, 4,000?
18?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was that many. Yeah.
Okay.
But there was definitely, it was more like this.
More like this?
Yeah, more inventory was more about what it is now, if I remember. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but I think the buyers were more active than they are right now. I think it's what we've seen is such an abrupt change. From 500 listings to 1,500, so tripling in like 3 months. and then the rates doubling in
Yeah.
In 2 months. Yeah.
I mean, a good example of that is I've tried to take people out in a certain price point, and we might get 1, 2, 3 houses to look at, 3 months ago. And now we've got 10 to 15 houses to look at, and none of them have offers on them.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing. And more inventory means there's a lot more options coming, like on waterfront. We've seen a lot more listings on waterfront, and they may be coming out with waterfront under $1 million, which we haven't seen in a long time. We've seen some lakefront cabins. I mean, there's just going to be more opportunities to be had here, I think, through the summer and fall.
And I think the really important thing, because I lived through that recession of 07, 08. I bought a house in 05 that went down in value. I was a mortgage lender back then. I lived through all of that, and what it taught me was you don't buy out of your price range, and you buy something that you can stay in if that is in fact what you need to do to wait it out, because real estate always goes up over time.
Yes.
And this is not forever. So if you want to be here, then you need to focus on getting here, and now is a good time to get here. And maybe you do a 5-year ARM and you refi, because it's not going to be this high forever. But over time, if you look at what our prices were before the bust in 05, or I'm sorry, in 07, we're way above those prices even before that bust.
Right.
So even if you bought something back then that went down in value, which I did, and then I sold it eventually for a profit, but there was a few years there really painful. And I don't think we're going into that now, but I'm just trying to make the point that you just, if you're going to, if you want to be here, you just got to get here.
Yes.
And now's a good time to do that.
Yeah.
Right, and then you can, like, for example, now instead of getting a $750,000 house at a 3% interest rate, you can probably get that same house now for $500,000 at a higher interest rate. So your mortgage payment's roughly about the same.
Exactly.
In the same place. You just have more opportunity to get that home.
And you can always refi, because you started out with a smaller principal, so you can refi maybe in a year when they hopefully go back down.
And I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, there was a house in 2021, middle of 2021, was listed for $545 and it sold for $745. That same house right now would probably go for $500. And so I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, it was just insanity at that time. Granted, interest rates were very low, but I mean,
I feel like I was in the very thick of it, in terms of I had a listing that closed at the end of this April that went for almost 200 over asking price.
Oh my God.
19 offers.
Yeah.
19 offers. April of 2022, and now we're in June, and I got a house $100,000 under list price. It was just like, ooh,
and how many offers were on it? Were you the only one?
Yep, only one.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, I think in the macro look, Lexi's completely spot on. At the end of the day, if you're watching these videos, if you're thinking about relocating to North Idaho, you're doing it for a long-term reason. It's not like you're thinking of uprooting from wherever you are, maybe your family, and coming here and flipping something. I mean, you're coming for the long term, and right now you have buyer leverage, which we're super excited about. There's a lot of bad PR going out there, and real estate agents are like doom and gloom. For us, I'm super excited, because I was tired of putting in 35 offers.
We've been wanting this for a while
and getting one accepted.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be a good summer through fall, and we're still getting reach outs. We're still getting a lot of people under contract, and at the end of the day, North Idaho is always going to be a desirable place to move to. It's going to grow. It has since I was young in the 80s and 90s. I mean, people have been moving here for decades, and that's not going to stop.
Aren't we still below the number of houses that we need?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah.
inventory wise, I think
we
still need to do some more new construction and.
Yeah, and then one other buyer, if you're an investor and you're watching our videos too, still, this area is still phenomenal as far as investing goes. I mean, our rental rates are unbelievable. We have a 0.7 vacancy rate in our market.
0.7,
Yeah, 0.7. And Airbnb, we're one of the best Airbnb markets in the country. So if you are looking to invest in our area, it's still an extremely attractive area.
Especially, if you're an investor and you're looking and you're all cash. I mean, this is your heyday right now.
Right.
You can find some really good opportunities.
And there really haven't been very many great
No.
opportunities to
No.
find flips and things over the past couple of years. I think
Yeah.
we're going to see some of those become available, and
Oh,
there's
wait.
always, money to be made on
Mhm.
a quality flip.
There's actually duplexes available now.
Whoa.
We're like unicorns.
Crazy.
People. Yeah.
And one thing to think about in terms of rates, like if you are very rate sensitive, a rate sensitive buyer where it makes a big difference for you, like if you're able to buy down, I mean, it puts buyers in the spot now where they could request a seller to buy down
Oh,
rate, right?
man, that's perfect. We were talking about digressing back to a point made earlier about how
Yeah.
sellers are participating more and they're being more generous. We can use whatever seller concessions that we don't use for this the closing costs, the prepaids, to buy down your rate.
Right.
Like I said, they're not as friendly as they were a few months ago, but then again, nothing's as friendly as it was a few months ago. Except grandma. But
you wouldn't even have gotten a seller credit a few months ago.
No.
So
not even on
There's
the
that.
table. Exactly.
Yeah, you could throw that on the table,
Yep.
use it as negotiating leverage
Perfect.
to help out a little bit. So, any other thoughts on the lending side of things, the rates?
No, rates have steadied. They kind of spiked up. They went up to 6. Now they're down to 5.625. I think they're going to kind of hover there until the Feds meet again, and then they might spike. But again, we're in a transitionary period where people are kind of holding their breath. So,
Do you know when they
like-
meet again?
I don't. I know it's within 2 months, because again they have scheduled 7. They've already met 4, and we're only in June. So I know it's within the next quarter.
Got it.
So just because I wanted to clarify, when the Feds meet, if they raise rates 0.75%, that does not translate exactly to mortgage rates going up 0.75%.
Exactly.
Okay.
Excellent point. Yeah, because
And I
you'll
feel like
notice-
people don't always understand that.
Yeah,
They
maybe
think
explain
as soon
that.
as
Oh,
the
correct.
Fed meets, then it's going to jump that much, and that's not necessarily the case.
Exactly correct. Yeah, the federal lending rate it's not mortgage rate. It's just money from the Feds, and so it will affect your Visa and your car loan, and it will trickle into mortgage. But what I'm finding is definitely do shop for a lender, because there is a huge difference between the rate that you're going to get from a credit union, a mortgage broker, a mortgage banker. There are several different places to get your money. We're all getting it from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, but by the time it reaches you, the buyer, you might see a quarter point, half point difference between lenders. So definitely check with the credit union. But and that is true. I mean, there's a chasm, especially with investment properties, because they people that are brokering it, they've lost their appetite for that, and the point difference. Sometimes it's a point different in the interest rate.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good time to have seasoned professionals finding your house, and to have someone who knows the market to help you, to guide you through that lending. But the question you asked, everything's leveling as far as the pricing on houses, but it remains to be seen what's going to happen with rates. Like I said, time will tell. They keep kind of bumping up the rates to see if it will curb spending and lower inflation.
Yep.
So where's it going to go? Not too sure, but they will be going up.
Yeah. And I think on the listing prices side of thing, I think when we get the market stats for June, it'll be the first month in a long time that we've gone down in median sales price. So the market is going to come down through the summer. There's just too much inventory for it not to. What happens in fall, winter is yet to be seen, because that's when a lot of our inventory comes off the market, especially the summertime properties, the lakefront homes and that type of thing. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, what we're seeing, we wanted to just give you some insight, boots on the ground look of what we are seeing, and the market has shifted quickly. So that's not a bad thing, though. It's a good thing for us and for anyone looking to buy. I think there's a lot of opportunities there.
Right.
So, but we can't help you accomplish your real estate goals and make your way up to North Idaho unless you reach out. So call, text, email us. We have we work full time. We don't do this as a hobby. So we'll set up a Zoom call or a phone call with you, get you set up to learn about what you're all about, where you want to be, and get you in the right house for you. So thanks for watching this video. Until the next one, we'll see you later.